Cool. That should be good.
I don't know, dude. I just like riding motorcycles. That's all I care about. I am good. No worries.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Tyler. I'm here with Grant Anderson.
Hello.
And we're going to do a chopper check today on his 1976 Shovelhead.
This is going to be a good one because you know what I'm about, and I'm the least chopper person ever, but I love riding motorcycles, so it's going to be really interesting. You could do a little quiz on me because I don't know shit. I just like riding motorcycles, so it'll be perfect.
Yeah. So Grant is kind of one of the reasons I felt compelled to do this YouTube channel. He's a drift car driver and YouTuber by trade. So
yep.
We met, a couple buddies and I were on a trip in Japan, and I was looking on Instagram if I knew anyone into cars out there, and then someone connected us, and
a friend of a friend linked us up and told him to come up to Ebisu. We were like North Japan. And you guys were only supposed to come up for like an afternoon or a morning, and you ended up spending like 3 days. So it was so sick. It was the best trip. And now, obviously, lifelong friends. Now we're on the other side of the world, hanging out in my shop, which is crazy. So yeah, super cool.
Yeah, it's rad. And then ended up having mutuals, and now we're here. So as like a drift dude and a car guy, right? What is it about slow or like old Harleys that kind of get you going?
So I'm going to back up really quick. This thing is not slow, Tyler. It's a 96-inch stroker, okay? It's got some pony. It's slow. But so we had this conversation last night, and I think I almost didn't want to talk about it last night because I think I made such a good point to you that like as like a car dude, so everybody goes through stages when they're like getting into something, right? Motorcycles, cars, boats, whatever you're into. Unless you're lucky, you kind of always suck at the beginning, and you learn your way through whatever you're, whether it's influential people or just like learning your own style of what you like. But I think at least for me and like a lot of the dudes that I know that are into cars and motorcycles, we all kind of learned the styles that we love already with the cars. So with bikes, we already kind of know what looks cool, in our opinions at least, right? Like this might not look cool to someone else, but like this is what I think, like this is what I like in a chopper, right? Like tall, really skinny, really bright, a lot of polished stuff, like, which I know like you and Dusty and like it's a completely different style than what you guys are into, right?
Yeah.
You guys are into more of the vintage, like old parts. I personally don't really care about the old parts. I think they're cool, but like, I just like clean. Yeah. So I think the cleanliness of like building a car kind of translates really well into like this bike per se.
Yeah.
Dirt bikes, pit bikes, supermotos, whatever. I just like riding motorcycles. So this is a good way to like get my rocks off, scare myself a little bit, and not have to go 200 miles an hour, right? Like you go 50 on this and it's terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why I like it. And it makes you work to appreciate it too, right? Like it's a fucking pain in the ass to start. It breaks all the time on the side of the road. Like you have to be about it to ride a bike like this.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of my car friends think it's stupid, which I get. Like they're dumb. They really are. They're 70-year-old motorcycles. They shouldn't be on the road. Yeah. But like all of us are like fixing oil lines on the side of the road, fixing clutch, like all this shit that if we had just bought a new bike, we wouldn't have to do. But it's not the same experience, right? Like you're at the end of a 2-hour trip with this and like your best friends is the best day in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that I like that just as much as like the aesthetics of the bike. I think it's like dumb as it sounds, like the community and like getting to be with all your friends on the side of the road broken down, and then one of them's like, oh, I'll just go to the bar and get a beer while we wait for you to fix your bike. You know what I mean? Like I like that side of it just as much as the bike.
Well, and I think that's what's cool too. Like so much of my life became motorcycles. Like once I got into it and once it started being like, okay, this weekend I'm going to hunker down and work on my bike all weekend. Yeah. And then those people that I was working on my bike with then are my best friends now. And like it's always funny seeing what people, you know, and then those friendships become so much more than just the bikes. So it's cool.
So cool, dude.
It's like the best glue, you know.
Yeah,
it's like it really is glue.
Well, exactly, and you know, if some random dude local to you is into the same shit, he has just as much passion for it as you do. So you guys have similar mindsets to things instantly, right?
Absolutely.
You already know they're going to be, even if they're a dirtbag, they're going to be a good person, right?
Yeah.
Because like you have similar mindset to, well, we have to bust our ass to keep this thing on the road, and they're like, all my motorcycle friends are the first ones to come help me when I need help, and it's instant friendships. Like my buddy Tom, I was telling you about, you haven't got to meet him yet, but he rewired my whole house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I met him riding motorcycles, so
sick.
Lifelong friend. Shout out Mr. Tom, but he's the best, dude, and it's people like that I'm so happy I got to meet, you know?
Absolutely. Okay, so let's get into it a little bit. 96-inch stroker.
Yeah.
What did it look like when you got it?
It was swing arm bike, Invader front and rear, had like a 19-inch dual disc Invader front, black with a bunch of like, I don't even know what you call it, etching on it had etching everywhere, like everywhere. The bike had sat for like 30 years, so we didn't know if the engine was good. It had like kind of had compression, but it had sat for so long. I think I paid like $3,000 for it from a local bike shop.
Amazing.
But I was explaining this to you last night too. I'm based in Connecticut, so if a motorcycle has a previous Connecticut registration, you can register it instantly. No VIN verification, nothing, right? If it doesn't, if it has an out-of-state title registration, you have to go through this crazy thing. So I really was looking for a Connecticut registration bike, even if I had to put a little bit more work into it. So this was a Connecticut registered bike. I don't know what it was, but it had, I had a cigarette lighter down here, and it was a cool old club bike.
Yeah.
So I got it. We tore the whole thing down. My buddy Carl at Two Wheel Trading Company, he used to be local. He's down in Tennessee now. We hardtailed the frame, machined the lowers, did a bunch of the rough mock-up, I would say, on it. And then life got in the way. I got busy. I have cars and stuff. So Matt Wallen down in Virginia decided to help me get the engine put back together, get the fenders mounted. My buddy Eric in Ohio painted the frame, the tins. One of my car buddies polished everything for me in Long Island. So, we polished pretty much as we could without going too OD on it.
Yeah.
And then I would say like revision 1 that Matt did was awesome. I rode it for like a year. Then we pulled it apart and did, repainted the tank, did the Mullins narrow, did a bunch of call it like round 2 of the bike. And that's how it's been for like 2 years now. So I just love riding.
Yeah.
So it's like, I work on cars. I don't want to work on my motorcycle. So it's like, I try to do everything correctly, I guess.
Yeah.
So that I can just enjoy it. But then the thing still breaks on me every time I ride. So it's like,
Did you intentionally, because this bike is kind of playing tricks with my eyes because it looks small.
Yeah.
But then when you're on it, it doesn't look that small. And then when you're off it, it looks small again.
Yeah.
Did you intentionally build a tight bike like that?
So I always have really liked narrow, tight bikes, even though I'm 6'4". Yeah. I'm not a small dude, but I've always liked, I'm going to get shunned for this. I don't like wide glides.
Yeah.
it's not my style.
Yeah.
I know it's a big thing, but I love skinny, tight little bikes, and I even how far the pegs stick out bother me. You know what I mean? I just wanted as narrow as possible.
Yeah.
So that's, why I did the skinny B&C seat and the narrowed trees, and just everything is skinny on it, which was what I was going for. And I was telling you last night, I didn't run an air cleaner forever because I didn't like how far it stuck out. I'm very weird with things like that. But I'm still never happy either.
Yeah.
I always want to change stuff.
What would be the next thing that you'd theoretically change on here?
Controls and bars. I've had like 5 different sets of bars on it, and nothing ever looks right to me.
Yeah.
I like the fluidity, I think, of the T-bars, but I wanted pullbacks. I'm too tall for pullbacks, so like...
Yeah, your bars would just be on your knees.
They'd be on my knees the whole time, yeah. So, I don't know. I definitely want to change the controls. The seat sucks. I love riding, and the seat sucks. So, maybe have a riding seat and then a look cool seat. I don't know. That's something I want to play around with a little bit too, but...
Yeah.
I like it how it is. I kind of just want to put another bike together. Leave this how it is. It's my first, like, chopper. So, leave this how it is and really want to put a panhead together. My father has a pan.
Okay.
Pretty original, so I would love to put a bike together, you know, kind of based off of what he has.
Yeah.
And make it like my own style. That's kind of what I want to do next.
Okay.
Low, narrow again, but low, not a big front end or anything. So that's kind of what I was thinking next.
And with the color, how'd you decide on the color of this?
So this is crazy. This is House of Color Brandywine. I had a car painted this color like 12 years ago.
Oh, no way.
And I was back and forth with colors. I really wanted to do a white frame, white tank. I wanted to do a full white bike. And Matt was like, I have an idea. Will you trust me on this? And I was like, yeah, I got it. And then he showed me the color that Eric painted it, and I knew instantly what color it was going to be, and I couldn't be happier. I was freaking pumped with it. So it's like a 3-stage paint. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it looks very dark here, but outside it's like bright red. It's a really cool color. So I'm stoked
awesome.
We did it, and Eric Mills like knocked it out of the park with the paint job too.
Paint is like the most important. I mean, it can make or break a bike, you know.
Yeah.
If you have like nice paint, you'll remember. Like, there's bikes I've seen 10 years ago, and I just remember the paint job on them and like how great it was.
I also feel like it's, and don't take this the wrong way, I feel like it's like a slept on thing. I feel like it's an afterthought for a lot of people just paint the frames black, right? Yeah. That's like it's a normal thing.
Absolutely, just rattle can it black, be done.
Yeah, which is fine. I understand the aesthetics of it, but I think that just it being all one color, it like adds a little bit more value to the bike. Not monetary value, but just adds a little bit more value. Like, you'll remember it a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to be neurotic with cleaning it, but I've kind of let it get a little crusty, and I almost like it more now.
Yeah.
It's like all my cars are all clean and perfect.
I was going to say, after watching you mop your garage before dinner last night, I'm surprised that there's any oil on this thing at all, and it's not, like, cleaner.
So, I mean, dude, I used to, like, no bullshit, scrub the wheel with a toothbrush. And then I'm like, I kind of like it a little fucked up. Like, it's how it's meant to be. It's old.
Yeah.
It's whatever, 50 years old, you know? It doesn't matter if it's leaky. It doesn't matter if it's got a little rust on the axle. It adds a little bit of character to the bike, I think.
Yeah.
So I used to care a lot, and now I don't know if it's just because I have a lot of other shit going on, and I'm just like, fuck this thing. I don't, it looks fine, but I think it adds a little character to it.
Yeah.
So.
And what's the best ride or best trip you've gone on with this?
So we've done a few good ones. We rode from here to Cheap Thrills in Jersey. It was like 10 or 15 of us. You know how those rides go. It's like a 3-hour ride that takes 8 hours because everyone's bikes break. But there was a moment on the trip on the way home where all of us were riding. We missed an exit, and there was like a foot tall curb, but for some reason there was a piece of concrete going up into the grass, into a big grass field. So Tom slammed on his brakes, hopped up over the curb, and everybody followed. Like, no one even thought twice, right? So we're all riding down this grass hill. We get to the bottom of the hill, and there's a cop staring at us, and he just goes like this. And we're like, give him a nice wave, and then a bike breaks down. So we're broke down right now. And the guy just drives by and shakes his head and was like, sorry, man. We ended up getting stuck there for like 3 hours because we were trying to fix the bike.
Oh, my
Ignition
God.
went bad on one of our friends' bikes. And thankfully we were able to fix it and limp the bike home, but it was like, what are the chances of that, you know? Another trip we did, a handful of us rode up to Easy Company, which is another 3-hour ride. Ended up taking like 8 hours. Our friend Tom, his crossover oil line blew off and burnt his leg and soaked his pants, and then he did a wheelie and knocked the points cover off and ripped the points out. It was just like those, like I said before, those like entertaining trips are the memories you'll remember forever, right? It's like, it sounds so like corny, but like breaking down and like getting to make fun of your friend because he forgot to tighten his battery is like the best part of those trips.
Oh yeah.
You make it there with no dramas. It's like, okay, whatever, your ass hurts a little bit, your spine hurts. But like when you had to work to get there is so much more fun.
Yeah.
So I like the trips that you have to work for it, you know?
Absolutely.
So.
And it's also cool too, because like, I mean, I'm sure we'd all agree, but like everybody's bike is such a reflection of their personality.
Yeah.
And it's so fun going on trips and seeing like, you know, some people have super dialed bikes, some people have super messed up bikes, some people's bikes never break, some always break, and it's like, it's just classic.
Well, yeah, you're right. Like, it matches their personalities like to a T.
Oh yeah.
You know, Joe's bike breaks down, you go, oh, I'm not fucking surprised at all that bike broke down because he doesn't even touch it with a wrench, right? So it's like that. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. Could not agree more with that.
Yeah.
So I love riding. I just love riding. Like, truthfully, I think choppers are the coolest way to ride.
Yeah.
They're obviously not the most comfortable way to ride, truthfully. And anybody says that choppers are comfortable to ride are lying.
Yeah.
It's like, but they're cool. So it's like you have to take some to give some, right? Like, you're taking away a little bit of comfort to have the cool factor. I don't know. At least that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Interesting. Awesome.
Yeah. No, it's sweet. I love it. Hopefully a new bike, and then this one can just sit and I can ride it a little every once in a while. But
yeah.
I've been so busy the past couple of years that I haven't had a lot of chances to ride. So when I do ride, I try to make like a weekend of it, you know, go on a trip somewhere with some friends or something. We did Sturgis a couple years ago. We trailered the bikes out. I know it's not cool chopper kid shit, but we brought the bikes out and then we rode like 1,000 miles while we were out there. So that was really cool. That was an awesome memory. There was like no motorcycles there, or there was no choppers there, which, like I said, I'm not like embedded into the chopper scene, so I don't know shit, right? So I'm like, we're going to Sturgis. There's going to be all these cool choppers. We get there, there's like 30 choppers. I'm like, all right, I should have brought a new bike because it would have been way nicer.
I remember, so I did Sturgis in 2015, and we rode there from LA, and we were going from one side of town to the Buffalo Chip or something, and traffic is just insane. You can't like split lanes. Also, everyone's on bikes, so like you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, for those that haven't been there, it's a single lane each way road downtown, and you're going 1 mile an hour. Yeah. You're not. There's no speed. That's it. You're just you're literally idling. It's crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
And I remember my buddy on his panhead got off and just walked it down the street, like on the sidewalk, and all the old dudes on baggers were like talking shit, yelling at us. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, how do these old dudes not appreciate like a cool panhead chopper?
Yeah.
But I guess, you know.
It's crazy.
But man, Sturgis is... I would love to go back.
Yeah, I would love to go back too. It'd be cool to get like a big group of people to go, you know?
Yeah.
Just to make it more, because we had 3 bikes and we did all the awesome rides. It was so fun, but just like the lack of cool bikes, I guess, was not. I wasn't expecting there to be so little cool bikes. But like Sasha Cycle had a really cool motors like chopper show, and that like made the week, because if he didn't do that, then it would have been brutal.
Yeah.
To see like all the ultra, you know, there's just like all new bikes, and you're just like, oh, they're cool, but it's kind of boring. So
awesome. Well, thank you.
Of course, bro. Anytime.
Rad. All right.